How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay convention and community. Tonight, we are doing another podcast panel called Plus Size and Cosplaying, and I'm here with some very well good cosplayers. If you'd like to introduce yourself, starting with Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob, and I'm a cosplayer. My name's Bob Greenwade, also known as One-Eyed Cosplay.
And how long have you been cosplaying for, Bob?
Um, just a couple of years, and of course, interrupted by the pandemic, so I'm still pretty much a newbie.
Next is Kat.
There we go. There's my audio. Hi there. I'm Kat Valentine. I'm also a cosplayer. Surprise, surprise. I've been in the community since 2012, and I like vibing in a wig and making cool costumes.
Minty. Oh wait,
Hey,
how long have sorry I forgot it. How long have you been cosplaying for, Kat?
2012. I don't know. I'm really bad at keeping track of like how many years it's been. I just am like, oh, right before I graduated high school. Like that's my that's my way of remembering.
And now Minty.
hey, I am Minty Poison Cosplay. I have been in the Pacific Northwest scene since about 2012, myself. And I've finally able to start doing competition stuff again, so I'm gearing up for that.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing that. Next is Rhi.
Hi, I'm Miss Artist Rhi, also known as Rhi. I am a California-based cosplayer. Just recently moved to the PNW 3 years ago, and I've been cosplaying since 2015.
Nice. And now for Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris Furguson. I've been in the convention scene since 1999. I've been cosplaying since 2012, mostly based in Southern California up until very recently when I moved to the PDX. And looking forward to attending some conventions up here.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you at these new conventions. Same with you, Rhi. So basically, this topic will be, talking about experiences, some tips, and other things pertaining to plus-size cosplayers. I guess I will go in random order, starting with Menti. What are some of the challenges you may have faced or have faced while being a plus-size cosplayer?
I honestly think the biggest one has been comments, either maybe something left on a photo that somebody posted, or, somebody who thought they were out of earshot of, oh my God, did you see like her back flab? Like, what is that? I think the worst one I ever got was somebody was really, really excited to see me one year, in a Pinkie Pie dress, and they posted it on their DeviantArt like you did in,
Mm,
2012.
DeviantArt.
Right. But
Times
they
the
posted.
line.
Right. Yeah, they posted it on there of like, hey, I went to SakuraCon. Here's some really cool cosplayers. And somebody underneath it was like, she's a little fat though. And I was like, cool. I'm like 19. I didn't need that when I logged in today. I think so far that's been like the backhanded comments too of like, oh wow, you're so brave, or oh wow, you're like, you're really gorgeous, just like for your size and everything. And I'm like, what? That was definitely uncalled for. So I think so far for me, that has been kind of the biggest thing of, just hearing either like the backhanded compliments or the just straight, yeah, no, you didn't pull that off because you're fat.
Jeez. Gatekeeping at its finest. Next, for Chris, has there been any challenges that you faced or had to deal with while being a plus-size cosplayer?
I'm going to take a different tact and just say two mostly. One, finding pre-made costumes that I don't have to have expensive custom tailoring done. Because, yeah, I mean, okay, Asian sizes, and this is just a fact, are 2 sizes smaller than in the West.
Oh God, yeah, no. I think
Yeah.
I think all of us can agree to that.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then you know, people when they say like, "Oh, you're fat," and you just want to go, "Okay, so you have pretty good vision and you have basic visual acuity. You can recognize basic facts. Okay, great. Is there anything else that you have to say, or is that all you're about?" Because as a plus size person, yes, I know how much extra fabric I need to buy to make a costume that fits me. I know that I have to spend 50% to twice as much on a costume if I want something reasonably close to fitting. I get all that. I'm well aware of all this stuff. Do you have anything else, sir? If not, go away. So, those are my two primary gripes about people's reaction to plus size cosplayers.
I mean, it's. I imagine it's not easy having to spend twice as much because that's more fabric or more materials. So Rhi, same
Yes.
question. What challenges have you faced while being a plus size cosplayer?
Well, most of it's pretty much really like the same thing, like you're trying to find the size of your, uh, you're trying to find the sizes that cater to your body shape, and, you have to pay extra. And then there's like the discrimination that comes with it when it comes to the photographers, because some photographers prefer to, well, they do prefer to photograph skinnier models
We
or
call that
cosplayers.
We call that discrimination.
Yeah, so it's pretty discriminatory. Sometimes, like, there was one time where I was like cosplaying a really cool character, and like they just turn around and they're just like, I'm busy. And I was just like, I'm in this cosplay, photograph me, please. And they wouldn't. And I was sad.
I mean,
And yes.
I get photographers have the right to decline, but they shouldn't be rude about it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if I see your work and all you do is skinny models and just girls, and not like you having diversify your portfolio, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm gonna call someone out on their BS. Like, it's, like, you're discriminatory. And also, as a, POC cosplayer, I always get like, oh, this character isn't Mexican, and I was just like, oh my God, please stop. Like, I get it, but like, it's just like, also, like, I'm white passing, so like sometimes people will praise me for it, for the costume, but then they'll do a backhanded compliment where they'll be like, "Oh, but you're fat. Like, you did this character good, but you're fat." Or like, "You ruined this character for me." And I was just like, "Really? That's wow."
Wow. Same question for you, Kat. What are some challenges have you faced or had to deal with while being a plus size cosplayer?
Oh gosh, like honestly, what don't we face? I wholeheartedly agree with all the points that everyone's brought up here. Um, obviously gatekeeping. It's really hard to find anything pre-made because we don't always want to sew our own costumes. Sometimes we just want to wear something pre-made. Um, Photographers is a huge one. I have personally been discriminated against on multiple occasions, and if you ever try to like speak with them about it, they give you the most bullshit excuses. Honestly think one of the hardest one, aside from like the gatekeeping and the crappy comments, people treat you different they treat you incredibly different than their skinny friends. And it's extremely noticeable. And people will go and make fun of your body type. And they think they're being so funny and so coy, but, you know, they kind of diminish you down to a body type and not who you are as a person. And it can be really, really hard to remember sometimes that, you know, you are worth so much more than your weight, and your body does not define you or, you know, your ability to be loved. And that can be really, really hard to deal with. Yeah.
Now on to you, Bob. Has there ever been any challenges or, you know, things you had to face while being a plus size cosplayer?
Well, being a relative newbie at cosplaying, I haven't faced a lot of the negativity issues that the rest of those folks have. I think the biggest challenge I've had has been the dimensions in themselves. In that, well, for example, I made my tunic for my Dr. Midnight costume back in, I think, early 2020, just before all the shutdown and everything happened. And then by the time I got around to actually wearing it at this year's Washington State SummerCon, my waistland had expanded somewhat, and I had having a hard time getting into it. So, you know, of course, weight goes up and down. My weight's gone back down to where it was because of other issues going on right now. But it's really, for me, that aspect of things has been fairly minor. Also because I'm not quite as plus sized as a lot of others.
By the way, really well done, Dr. Midnight cosplay, by the way.
Thank you. That one is one of the ones. I'll talk a little. I would like to talk a little bit later about approaches to cosplaying when you're plus size, and it applies to a lot of other physical characteristics too. But that's one of the ones that kind of, to my surprise, hides my weight.
Now back to Chris and the next topic. What is your thoughts when, you know, a cosplayer who's thin wants to try to cosplay a bigger character?
I believe, and I'm gonna get. I know I'm gonna be on the opposite side of the topic from others. I believe what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If a, let's just say, normal sized or a slender cosplayer wants to cosplay, you know, we were talking about this earlier, but Ursula from Little Mermaid, go ahead and cosplay that character. If it means something to you, there should be no limits in any direction, provided that you're not trying to put on a fat suit or put, you know, extra, you know, you go obscene with the padding, or try to, it's put on a fat suit. Like, you're not trying to do the weight equivalent of blackface. You know, wear the black dress, wear the tentacles, put on the purple body paint, be the character, have fun with the character, enjoy the character. Don't try to go so far in the name of bullshit accuracy where you become a caricature of real people who are trying to of real people who have real struggles with their weight, that sort of thing. Play the character, but, you know, be aware. You know, you are, you know, don't try to emulate something that you're not, and, you know, that you're going to take off in a couple of hours and forget about.
I mean, like you said
before we talked, like,
when people go that extra step, you know, not only are you adding so much, but you're also adding that stress to yourself because, you know, you could probably be at a con for 2 hours in that suit. Next thing you know, you're sweating, you're hurting, you know, and you get back to your hotel. Next thing you know, you take all that stuff and you're just drenched in sweat.
Yeah, but you know, again, you take off that stuff and you can put on normal clothes and go out, and
Exactly.
you don't have that, you know, you don't have that. Um, you're not living that experience. You're just pretending for a little while, and that's where the offense I take is. But
They, that's your honest opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. Same question for you, Minty. What are your thoughts on that question?
I mean, if, you know, somebody's gonna say, well, you know, you're a standard size, you can't do a plus size character. I mean, you know, somebody can turn around and say this the exact same thing. Well, you're plus size, you can't do that thin character. I don't personally have a problem with it. I mean, you know, don't make it a caricature. Don't, you know, make fun of somebody who does, you know, carry extra weight. But honestly, it's no skin off my nose. It's not a huge deal to me, personally at least.
Well, that. Same question for you, Kat. What are your thoughts on someone who's thin and they're wanting to cosplay a bigger character?
My opinion actually aligns very similar with Chris's. I don't have an issue with it. As everyone else has said here, if you're putting on a fat suit, if you're trying to be a caricature, if you're making fun of the character's weight or trying to diminish all their other features and make that the main thing, that is where I personally take offense. But I have no issue with people cosplaying skinny characters, just like I have no issue with like plus size people cosplaying the opposite. And like, it just seems silly to me that there's a debate in the first place because cosplay is for everyone. Like, since when did it matter what you looked like? Like, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to have fun. We're all fucking nerds in wigs. Like, can we be nice to each other? Damn.
Yeah, no, the gatekeeping in the cosplay community is definitely from when I first heard of it in 2009 to now, it just seems to get a lot more like, you know, crazier. That's why you see a lot of good cosplayers who've done this stuff for years, who know that cosplay is for everyone, just give up, or they even just, you know, don't even like the word cosplay anymore because they know what it means nowadays. It's crazy. Same question for you, Bob. Thoughts on you know, thin, skinny people cosplaying plus size characters?
I'm pretty much okay with it. I'm one of those kind of stickler for accuracy kind of guys, but I'm also of the philosophy that nobody can decide for you how accurate to the character your costume should be except you. So if you want to be something exactly like a particular panel in a particular comic book, that's fine. If you want to just kind of give the general feel of the character, that's fine. If you want to dress up as, say, the Sixth Doctor or Rooster Cogburn, um, both of who are guys who are overweight but not necessarily huge, and you just want to put on a little extra padding, that's fine. If you want to, you know, put on a little extra padding to be a little bit more accurate to the character, that's okay. Chris had good points as far as wearing this huge fat suit, both culturally and for your own benefit. Don't do it for a cosplay. But on the whole, yeah, if you have a big character that you particularly like and you don't happen to be big, just go ahead and wear the costume without any padding even. I would love to see like a inferior 5 cosplay where the blimp is skinny and Merryman is fat.
That'll be an interesting thing to see. Same question for you, Rhi. What are your thoughts on thin, regular size cosplayer wanted to cosplay a plus size character?
I don't really like, well, like, yeah, I really have like the philosophy that cosplay is for everyone, but like use discretion. Like, what I mean is that, you know, like, don't, like, when using discretion, like, why am I cosplaying this character? Do I like this cosplay? Do I like this character enough to cosplay them? What is my motivation behind it? And also, like, the discretion part is also like, am I offending anyone when if I put this element into my cosplay? So, yeah, it's like I don't mind it at all, as long as you know you're not offensive or putting on a fat suit or making it look like a caricature. So, you know, it's just, you know, cosplay is for everyone, but use discretion.
Can't argue with that. Now to the topic of experiences while being a plus cosplayer, whether it be, you know, negative, positive kind of experience. Starting with Minty, what kind of experience would you like to share?
So like I mentioned at the start, I do a lot of competition, especially the last few years. And I actually want to throw a positive one out there because it's not super common that we get a whole lot of them. Um, it was my first big contest that I did at KomoriCon a few years ago. And I had, you know, multiple people who came up and they were like, "Hey, I saw that you were entering this and I wasn't going to, but like this really sparked me to go. Thank you for, like, you know, helping me get the courage to do this," because again, we were, you know, both plus size. And I've gotten notes like that afterwards as well, of like, you know, "Hey, I saw you at SakuraCon. Hey, I saw you at Chibi." Like, it was really, really cool. I didn't think that I could do that as a plus size person. And with competition, it's something that I always really stress. Like, not only is cosplay for everyone, competition is for everyone, if that's what they want to end up doing. So, you know, yeah, it can feel a little backhanded, but at the same time, it's like it feels. I know how it feels to be on the other side of that stage and say, you know, well, look at all these, you know, conventionally pretty, you know, thin, slender, standard sized people coming across stage. And it feels really, really good when you see somebody who walks across stage who maybe, you know, is a little bit bigger. Maybe they have your body type and it's not like a standard body type. And it feels really good to see that. And it feels amazing when somebody's like, "You inspired me to do comp. I didn't think I could ever do it because of my body size." And it feels so good and it's amazing. And then we get to hang out backstage and it's even better.
Hey, if you can inspire someone to do something they never thought about doing or they were too afraid to, then you know you did something right.
Hmm.
So
Amen.
imagine,
And comp is fun too. So
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, as long as, you know, as long as you're having fun and that person's having fun, and know the fact that, you know, you did something good, not only does it, you know, make them want to inspire someone else, but it, you know, you're kind of like a hero to them.
yeah, and it makes you really, at least for me, it really makes me want to push going and just keeping going with it. Because when I was a little tiny baby weep cosplayer, like, that wasn't something that you saw a whole lot at competition. Granted, you didn't there wasn't a huge focus on it at the time, but just in general, but also in competition, those costumes that you saw walk across the stage, they were, you know, standard size, conventionally attractive, and you were like, "Yeah, like, I really want to do that. It looks like a lot of fun, but my size." And it can be really discouraging. So I am, you know, it definitely feels good when I get messages from somebody who's like, "I was terrified to go on stage and go see the judges because of that. And, you know, seeing your Monica on stage really made me want to go up there and do it." And I'm just like, "Heck yeah, get up there, keep doing it. It's awesome."
Same question for you, Kat. Any experiences you would like to share, whether it be a good, bad experience?
Is it okay if I share too?
That is perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay.
Okay, I'll try to keep them short. Okay, so I'd have to say, one of my really good experiences, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was shortly after I cosplayed Arena, which is like a Game Gyaru variant thing. Super, super fun, but I admittedly was really scared too. Because I've done like sexier costumes before, but this was showing a lot of cleavage and stomach and all these other things. And I was really, really scared that people were going to be rude to me. And of course, I did get a couple rude comments, but I had a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. You look great. And stuff like that. And that felt so nice because I feel like, especially when you're plus sized, a society kind of deems our bodies as gross or ugly or undesirable, which can really take a toll on your self confidence. So it's nice that I was able to dress up and feel good about myself and get good feedback like that and to feel great about myself. So, if you want to wear a skimpy costume, that's fine. Go for it. It doesn't matter what your body looks like. It's whatever your comfort level is, honestly. And some unfortunately you might get one or two nasty comments. That kind of is the nature of the internet though. And it sucks, but there's not a whole lot that can be done about it. And I just kind of tend to go with the motto of, if my body offends you, don't look. I'm going to continue to be sick and be hot. And if you've got a problem with that, eat shit.
Kat, you're always being the honest, modest one.
Hey. As far as bad experiences go, I'd have to say the ones that have hurt most are when I had a guy make some really nasty, like just uncalled for comments about my body. And he goes, oh yeah, you're a little out of shape. Oh, but if you lost a few pounds, oh man, you'd be so hot. And look at all these cosplays you could do. And more people would photograph you. And it just went on and on and on. And oh man, like I try not to let that sort of thing affect me, but it really, really hurt because he wasn't looking at me as a person. He was looking at a body that he didn't like. And that was really hard to go through because I already was struggling a lot. And what he didn't know at the time is I was in the process of recovering from a really nasty eating disorder. So you really never know what people are going through or why their bodies are the way that we are. So you really shouldn't judge people or make comments because it's none of your business. Yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Same question for you, Chris. Any good experiences you'd like to share, bad experiences, stuff like that?
I know you put emphasis on the word good, so I'll obey that. Most of my early cosplaying came from the video game League of Legends.
Nice.
Which has a reputation for having a really bad playing community because of reasons that make absolutely no sense to anybody with the brain. I'm pointing at a certain group of people that aren't in this conversation. But the cosplay and the artistic community are very supportive of each other, and Riot, good or bad, has been really supportive of the artist community as well. So when I put on a particular costume and it gets photographed and it gets shown at Riot events or Riot promotional material, and someone goes, "Oh yeah, that guy's costume is fine, but he could stand to lose about 100 pounds." When you have the creator of that character go, "Hey, knock it off," he actually took the time to make a version of the character that fit his body and fit his sensibilities, and we like it. He did a great job, and you need to, you really need to check yourself because, you're just unnecessarily shitting on somebody who is having a good time otherwise. So to get that level of support from people who, let's face it, not everybody in the world has a physique like a male League of Legends character.
Very small percentage does. So like Why? Just be nice to people. Damn it.
And that extends because I take that energy and I spread it to people who are just getting into other kinds of cosplay, and I say, you know what? They're gonna say things. They have the right to say things. They don't have the right to your reaction. You take that comment, you file it in the appropriate cabinet, which is the recycling bin, and you move on with your life because they're gonna say stuff. They're not that bright. They have very basic visual acuity. They can recognize, oh, you're a big person, and that's all they see, and that's all they're worth. And being told by a number of cosplayers that I'm the reason why they have, I gave them enough confidence to have a career in cosplay or to pursue it further, or maybe not stay in cosplay but go into making costumes for people, making costumes for plus size people, making props, staying within the artistic community, because there's someone like me who's able to say, you know what, those people who are saying negative things just aren't worth the brain power. So so hearing that helps me stay in focus and say, okay, I know I'm never going to win a contest and I'm not going to win any beauty pageants, but I don't care. I'm having fun stabbing people with my Tonberry knife. So.
Again, like I said to Minty, I think the fact that you can inspire anyone to continue cosplaying, especially plus-size cosplayers, I think, that in itself is a job well done. So, yeah. Now, back to you, Bob. Same question. Like, any experiences you'd like to share?
Really too much of a newbie to have had much of an experience with really any of my unusual characteristics, my size, my age, my autism, my disabilities, or whatever. I do have something to say as far as body types in contests and cosplays. I want to point out the winner of the 2014 costume contest at Rose City Comic Con. I just posted it up in the on the one of the text boards up here on your Discord channel, Wayne.
Okay.
It's a retired Wonder Woman, and if she can win the contest, I think really anybody can step forward and do.
Wow, she did really good, retired woman. If you guys take a look on the podcast ideas text chat, you'll be able to see it.
Ooh.
Yeah, she did and that was the 2014 winner, and it was just like, this is just absolutely brilliant, and I think that's what did it. And we plus size people can kind of take the same approach. This is one of three approaches that I take to cosplaying, which is embrace it, conceal it, or ignore it. And this is in the range of embracing what you look like and doing whatever. I think those are oven mitts she's wearing, the rubber gloves for oven cleaning. And just in general, it's just brilliant. And so don't feel bad if you don't look like the classic good-looking person. You can just do whatever and have fun with it.
Nice. Now, wait, go ahead,
Is
Kat.
it okay if I add on to that real quick?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm chatty tonight. Ooh. Well, and I think beauty is very subjective. So just because one group or one person might not find you attractive doesn't mean that other people find you attractive. Again, beauty is subjective, and I think there's beauty in everything. And there are a lot of beautiful plus size people out there.
Oh no, there really are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
people can treat you crappy in any kind of in any kind of community. I've been part of the face-to-face role-playing community for decades. In the theater community, I know the online gaming community, and even having when I was maintaining my own YouTube channel, people can treat you crappy and gatekeep based on just about anything, and so you can give them a word of correction, and they may or may not take it, and you just got to got to take it as it comes and ignore it.
Yeah, I'll throw that. Now for you, Rhi, any experiences you'd like to share?
My experience is mostly like there's a lot more love than there's hate. So like there's whenever I post something like on the internet or whatever, there's like a lot more love comments than there are hate comments on my posts. And so like I just have to like remind myself like there's a lot more love than there's a lot more hate, you know, and I when I choose characters that I cosplay, I tend to be more conservative because like I don't really like to show off my body, but like that's how I cosplay. But there was one time where I was really concerned that I was not gonna pull off a cosplay, and it was Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa. And I was really nervous because like a lot of people cosplay her, you know, because like I don't know if anybody recognizes that name or anything, but like so many people cosplay her. It's just like everybody does. You've seen a Junko at, you know, your local convention and everything, and I wanted to be part of the Junko community because Junko is like one of my favorite characters and everything, and I thought I was not gonna look good and everything, and I was just like psyching myself out and just negative self-talk and everything. And it turns out like a lot of people really liked my costume, and I was just like, wow, I really had anxiety for nothing. So sometimes you can be your own worst critic.
Oh no!
Than the
No,
people.
definitely. I think anyone here can.
Agreed.
I think anyone here can attest to that.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
I think
so
I think
the
we've all
comment-
wasted far much. Sorry, I think we've wasted far too much time doubting ourselves and just second guessing ourselves. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, most of the hate comments like doesn't faze me because I'm my own worst critic. Like I hate myself so much that like nothing can faze me. But I'm starting to love myself as like a person and everything. But I like to cosplay out of spite because you know it's like an FU to all the haters out there that's saying like
Just give them that big metaphorical middle finger.
yes, just giving that big metaphorical middle finger to everyone out there that was just like, oh, you're too fat to cosplay, you're too brown to cosplay. Well, I'm still cosplaying.
Well, guess you know what? I can tell you. Just put your thumb on your nose and just to them.
Right?
If you do it for anything, do it for spite.
Yes.
Ruin all of their waifus.
Nice.
That's
Now,
the goal at the end of
There
the
was
day.
a comment on one of the text channels a while ago about gatekeeping based on age. And they said if anybody tried to do that, I'd pull out my Tim Conway wig and do Old Man Deku.
Yes.
Stand old
Okay.
man Deku.
So now, this is a question I usually ask when it comes to the Get to Know That Cosplayer interviews, starting with Minty. What has been your favorite and actually now that Rhi mentioned it, what is your favorite cosplay that you've done where you just wanted to spite people?
As bad as it is, it was Madoka for me. So Madoka's goddess form in particular. So part of the reason I started doing competition was actually partly out of spite for a particular person who decided that they were going to room with me my first KomoriCon, and then turn around and start bad mouthing me in my cosplay. Which, I mean, granted, it wasn't great, but it was also the first cosplay I'd ever sewn by hand by myself with like very minimal fitting. I mean, this thing fits like a sack of potatoes, but I made it and I was still really proud of it at the time. And when I learned that, I actually was like, you know what? No, screw them. I'm going to keep going. And about 3 or 4 years later, I was on stage at my first contest and I was like, you know what? This feels really, really good. I'm going to start doing this like constantly. And so I knew that they went to KomoriCon, and I know that they watched the contest at KomoriCon. So my first contest was something that was a little bit more low key, just kind of testing the waters. But I was like, no, next year I'm going big. Go big or go home. And I want them to see it, and I want them to know that it's me, and I want them to feel as shitty as possible about this, because that kind of crap is not okay. So I went up as Madoka, and it felt amazing, and it's definitely my biggest petty project, but I mean, she's still a point of joy for me, and damn it, I'm proud.
That's awesome.
great.
Oh, nice. Giving them that,
Wonderful.
like
Oh
I
my
said to
God.
Rhi, give them that big metaphorical, like, fuck you kind of thing.
Like I said, you know, if you do anything, like if you survive out of spite for the people who want to see you fail, or who have said like, oh, they don't matter. Just, you know, no, it's out of spite now.
Oh, no. Wholeheartedly. Same question for you, Chris. What's that one cosplay that you wanted to wear just to spite people?
Wow. Can you skip me to the end? Because I'm going to have to think about it, because I've got a few.
Okay. Kat, what's that one cosplay you wore just to spite people? You know, no matter what, no matter how much negativity they said, you just wore it anyway because you know, you yourself knew that it was what you wanted to wear.
Ooh, there's actually two, but I think the first one applies a lot more. And that was Elsa from Frozen. I absolutely love Elsa's character, and I relate to her on such a personal level. And so it really meant a lot for me to cosplay her. But I think one thing that's not discussed a lot in the community is particularly like the Disney end of the community can be extremely
Ooh.
fatphobic and a little anti-Semitic, but that's a whole other topic. And someone who I was friends with at the time just did not care for the fact that I was cosplaying Elsa, that I was cosplaying something popular, and she just tried to tear me down the entire way. She tried to sabotage my costume at one.
Wait, she what?
Actually,
like verbally sabotage, or like evil stepsister Cinderella sabotage?
both.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, I'm listening.
I'll try to summarize it the best I can, but I'll save the full story maybe for convention horror stories.
Okay.
So she's a very bossy individual. And her and a couple other friends and I all got together, and we were all working for our costumes for con coming up. And keep in mind, this girl knows nothing about sewing, knows very, very little about costuming, but felt the need to boss everyone around and tell them what they were doing right and doing wrong, even though she didn't know her ass from her head.
I love that comment.
And so she was very insistent on helping me on my Elsa corset because I was going too slow, according to her, and it was stressing her out. And so one of our other friends had asked me to help with sewing a zipper. And I said, yeah, you know what? Okay, you can help. And I gave her just the most basic task. And it was to glue some sequins onto a panel. I showed her exactly how to do it, exactly how much glue to use, like the pattern to lay things. And after I finished sewing this friend's zipper, I come back and it looks like shit. Like she purposely put things on very terribly. And I look at her and I'm like, hey, what's this? And she's like, I put it on like you said. I'm just trying to help. And just like played the victim. And she's like, well, the glue's set anyway, so I guess it's stuck there. And it wasn't. I just was able to rip the whole thing off. And then I put them on correctly. And she was just so upset that I was getting all this attention and that people were loving my costume and so on and so forth, and that I was making people happy. And she just could not stand that. And so I just continued to like do what made me happy and look cute and be a magical ice queen. And she just stood there with like her shitty little prop and thought she was hot shit. And I just like come through and I'm like, oh, welcome to Arendelle. And everyone's like, oh my God. So admittedly, I was being a petty bitch. Like, I will fully admit that.
Hey.
But I don't regret it at
Nothing
all.
wrong.
Hey, sometimes karma gets them.
By the way,
requires pettiness.
by the way, as Elsa, did you tell her just let it go, let it go?
No, my boyfriend did though. Like she was being
Nice.
really mean to me one day, and he goes, "So and so, you really just need to let it go." And I'm like, and of course we're not friends anymore, but like, oh man, I think about that experience sometimes, and I'm like, get fucked.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry for cussing. So
Hey, at this point, I think you're being yourself, you're being honest, and that's what really matters. I think. Plus, the demographic for those who listen to this are like over the age of 18 anyway, so I don't think it really matters.
Besides, Wayne has a bleep button if he has to fucking censor everything. So
I don't really care. I don't care if this gets demonetized. So
if YouTube demonetizes this, they're fat phobic.
So Bob, same question. What is that one cosplay you wore that you enjoyed it yourself, and you like again as the other questions I've asked, to spite people, if you did it to spite people?
I really don't tend to do spite in any kind of setting, except that I am not only my own worst critic, but also my own worst enemy. I think the closest I come to those are a couple that I have upcoming. There's one I wrote a play that kind of takes a kind of bizarre twist on the Ballad of Bunny Fufu. And
See that.
I touched on a few topics of race relations, and a fellow Native American took some exception to that, and so it's kind of gotten sidetracked. And so I said, well, the heck with that. I'm just going to try and cosplay Bunny Fufu. It's not from my version. Isn't the guy from the play? It's kind of a redneck Bunny Fufu with the sleeveless plaid shirt and the feed cap and everything.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Everything. Oh my God.
Nice.
That is that is what I am currently planning for, depending on the weather, for day one on this year's Rose City Comic-Con.
Nice.
And that is just kind of my own. That is just kind of my own personal, private. I am forging ahead with this thing no matter what. But in the terms of my being my own worst enemy, I am not extremely skilled at tailoring. I'm self-taught, and I don't have much in the way of fine motor control. So seams kind of tend to get a little bit crooked, and I get confused with things. And the garments that I make myself, I can hide most of my mistakes. The Dr. Midnight tunic is one thing that actually came out looking pretty well, and I have my Inverness cloak as the shadow, which I made myself. But the one project I've been able to make where it would be eligible to be in a costume contest is the coat and the hat, or helmet rather, and the goggles, and potentially the tights for the evil midnight bomber What Bombs at Midnight from the animated version of The Tick. And And that is one character for whom, if you're familiar with the character, being a mediocre at best tailor is a feature, not a bug. So I'm going to take that out to Rose City. So if I finish it in time, which right now is about 50-50 as we taping this at the beginning of August. If I finish it in time, that's what I'm going to be taking to my contest. So
Nice. Looking forward to seeing pictures of it.
how was that?
I said looking forward to seeing pictures of it when you post it. Definitely got to share it for sure.
Yeah, I have it partially done, and if I get that in my dentures all set in mind, I'll post a picture up on the um server, the Discord server for sure.
Nice. Okay, now back to you, Chris. Have you thought of the one or two cosplays that you've done? Just whether it be spite people or something you just always wanted to cosplay.
Let's see. The one to spite people. Okay. I am 6 foot tall and 300 pounds, give or take, breakfast. Because there are some very nice breakfasts up here in Portland. I'm not gonna lie.
Pennies.
Yes. So
Yes.
and sometimes there's second breakfast, but that's a completely different genre. But I have a friend who is 6'4", 150 pounds, and likes to wear her high heels. And
to quote a Harry Potter movie, that's one big woman.
Well, I'm jokingly trying to get her to play Lady D from Resident Evil Village, but that's a side story that's not for this one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
Before the pandemic hit, we were gonna cosplay at Anime Expo as Morticia and Gomez Adams.
Ooh.
Oh.
Because I am, in proportion to her, I fit the mold. I'm not Raul Julia. No one's Raul Julia. But I'm more
much respect to him though.
But I'm closer to John Aston, the original Gomez Adams.
Ooh.
So
the guy who
one from the TV show.
The guy who would play Riddler later on in the 1960s Batman.
Well, a couple of episodes. That's a nerd fact that has nothing to do with this topic.
Anyway, continue.
We were gonna do that, and when I told, when she made the announcement, like, blah blah this, and I already have my Gomez, and I put on a preview, just had the suit and had my hair slicked down and had the cheesy mustache and all that, and they're like, oh, but he's kind of fat. Are you sure you want him? And then the cartoon came out, and the only difference between my costume and the one in the cartoon is mine's black and that one's more navy purple. It's like a 3D action movie, a 3D computer cartoon that came out. So it's like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm gonna have fun wearing this. I'm gonna be with a friend who is gonna make everything look better, and I know that she's nice enough to say, yeah, you know what, if you don't take pictures with him of us together, I'm not taking pictures with just by myself. Like, she was committed to doing this. We are a couple, even though long story there, but like we're cosplaying as a duo. If you don't want him, you don't get either of us. And it was going to be like basically a screw you to all the, because, she has her own. Anyway, so it was going to be Gomez Adams as my spite everybody costume. I've kind of been like, just cut that part out. So that would be my costume, would be Gomez Adams.
Nice. Okay, so two more question topics to bring up here. Back to Minty. What inspires you to continue to cosplay?
Oh no. Oh God, you had to ask me that one. Honestly, I mean, there's nothing that really. Oh
We,
no.
if you want to take your time, we can come back to you.
Yeah, I think I might need it on that one. Oh no, you threw me through a loop with that one.
Okay. For you, Kat, what inspires you to continue to cosplay?
Honestly, it's three things. Well, one, it makes me really happy. And it's also for my love of fandom and fan culture. And I just really enjoy making things and being able to transform myself into somebody else for a day. And that can be a lot of fun. And that's ultimately what makes me happy and keeps me going. And it's just a nice confidence boost.
Nice. That's always, I believe, honestly, a good thing. Same question for you, Bob. What inspires you to continue to cosplay?
Anytime somebody gets really excited at one of my costumes. I had a lot of Castle fans at Rose City in 19 and this year's Washington State SummerCon. I had so many people really love my shadow costume at Rose City 19. And this year, it's just like, for Dr. Midnight, it was like at a couple of times of people running up to me and can I get a picture of that? That is just, I've elevated somebody's enjoyment of the convention, and I'm hoping the same thing happens with the Redneck Bunny Foo and the Evil Midnight Bomber, and come Oricon, I'll be debuting my Jedi Master Elvis costume.
Nice.
And just having and just seeing other people have fun and getting smiles because of what I wore.
Nice.
A hunk of burning lava.
Oh, Mr. Obi-Wan, I got to tell you about this boy Anakin. He looks like a Jedi, he walks like a Jedi, and he talks like a Jedi. But I've grown wise. He's just a Sith Lord in disguise.
Love it.
Wow, that's a good impression.
A little less conversation, a little more lightsaber.
Now for you, Chris. What inspires you to continue to cosplay?
I have three things as well. One, knowing that if I put on a costume, I have ruined the fandom for somebody who really wasn't a fan. Because it's that level of you may like the character and you may not, but if me putting on that costume ruins that character for you,
Good.
your fandom is weak, and we do not train to be weak here.
No.
The amount of and then it's like the amount of positivity that I can focus on from people who are more experienced than me, or people who have better craftsmanship skills, or people who people who of all shapes and sizes and ages and affiliations saying, that's a great job on that costume. You do, I just wanted to tell you that. Because I'll share a really quick side story.
Okay.
Last year, there was a cosplayer who passed away from COVID. His name was Jared Nandon, or Noobs Poner.
I remember hearing about that.
I had a brief conversation with him at San Diego Comic-Con one year when he debuted his He Who Has No Life from because he was cosplaying as that character at that con. just and he was having a good time, and I got to talk to him for a little bit, and he goes, yeah, I've seen you around some of these conventions, and not only are you doing a good job, but you're inspiring others, and I just wanted to let you know that. So that's something that I even in light of his passing, I still keep that tidbit with me.
Nice. That's always a good thing to do.
So it's like the positivity I can generate, the fact that I can spite somebody always helps. And then it's just just being around creative people just makes me feel better. Because I come from a culture where if you are interested in anything but sports and alcohol and chasing girls, you're the outsider, you're the weird one, you're the freak, you're all that. And then you add your body image issues. And then, and these are people that have no life and have no interest, but they feel better hurting you. And you can say, you know what? I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. So like all y'all can just take your beer and your skirt chasing and just, go jump off into a river. I don't care. So those are what motivate me at the moment.
Nice. Now back to you, Minty. Have you thought of your answer to the question? Oh, wait. Rhi, yeah, sorry. And then we'll go to Minty. Same question for you, Rhi. What inspires you to continue to cosplay?
Well, I would have to say spite and well, mostly spite, because like I really like ruining people's days with like, the whole like when somebody was like telling me that I ruined a character for them, it just feels my soul. Because
hence your Junko cosplay.
Yeah, my Junko cosplay and my Kirigiri cosplay too. But I also like what also inspires me is that I have been told that I inspire people by just being like me and just being not just being like just putting myself out there and just putting my content out there, because like I just post what I want, like I post myself unedited, and I don't do like I don't really edit my pictures that much. And they're like, some people are really appreciative of that, because like they're like suffering with their own body dysmorphia, and they see like, oh, this person isn't altering themselves in any way. And I really, really come to like that, like to be like the example of not doing that. And I really like the sense of community when it comes to cosplay, because like if you forgot like a wig cap, somebody's bound to have a wig cap somewhere in their arsenal of stuff, and like they'll be like, I got you, fam. And I just really like that sense of community and everything. So yeah.
Nice. Now finally to Minty. Have you decided on what your answer is to that same question?
Time to piggyback. I think I kind of have to agree with Kat on it a little bit too. Of I find this to be a challenging hobby, yes, but it's really nice to be pretty fulfilled when you do get something that's fully completed, and something that you that you created of something that you love, for a fandom, for a character, for whatever. I think my biggest driver though is probably just that goal of completion, and that drive for that puzzle as I'm putting everything together. And why is this bodice piece cut this way but the other one isn't? Let's try to figure out what happened here. And it's a giant puzzle that I get to wear at the end, and it feels really good.
Nice. And
I
now,
like to learn new things too. With cosplay, you get to learn new skills.
Mm-hmm.
Fun part about the hobby is it's just like 20 different hobbies in a trench coat.
Right.
I can't argue with that.
And you know it didn't open the trench coat in public.
Now, as always, like I do with all of my podcasts for Cosplay Contalk, back to Minty. Any advice you like to give out there to plus-size cosplayers who are kind of like doubting themselves, and they need that little encouragement so they can continue doing what they love?
Do it. Don't think, just do. Um, it's scary to start. I know it's really scary to start. Um, there's a lot of eyes on you just in general. It's kind of the the best worst thing about having, a larger size body in public is you always have those eyes on you. But, if they're going to be that judgmental, just do what you want anyway. Like it's awesome. It feels really good, and there's a community standing behind you that's willing to put their foot down and not tolerate that.
Wholeheartedly agree. Chris, same question. Any advice you like to give out there?
Well, first off, I'm disappointed that no one pulled a Shia LaBeouf and said, "Just do it."
Just do it.
Don't let your dreams be memes.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
I know, I'm just saying, and that meme is so old, but I love it still.
Well, y'all lost the game,
love
right?
it.
So I'm never going to give you up.
God damn it.
I hate you.
Okay. So, piece of advice would, negative comments do hurt. There's no denying that, But the thing is people do have a right to say what they want. They have a right to they have the right to their opinion. They have a right to their their own artistic freedom. They don't have a right to your reaction. And if you can put them aside and focus on the positive, focus on, the constructive, focus on the encouragement that you're going to get by being in cosplay and going out and being as your favorite character, focus on that, and you will have not only a better time, but it will help you deal with real life situations where people will comment on your weight and tell you negative things and give you all those insane platitudes, and and deal with those airheaded doctors that tell you that you're going in for a scratch on the head, and they say, well, you could lose a few pounds. You can tell them off. and having the confidence of cosplay and the community will help you with your real life situations. So that's what that's my advice is, like, take the positivity that you will get from cosplay in the community and use that in your everyday life.
I can't argue with that at all. Same question for you, Kat. Any advice you like to throw out there for those who are listening?
Ooh, couple different things, but I'll try to summarize it the best that I can. As Lady Gaga says, rejoice and love yourself today, because baby, you were born this way. And you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of praise, and you are more than your body. And it's really easy to forget that. But for every one person who hates you, there is tenfold who are going to love you and who are going to be there for you. And, as Chris said, people are going to have their opinions, and they're going to be shitty. But, at the end of the day, their opinions don't matter. They have no weight or judgment or anything. Half the time, those people can't even get up the confidence to dress and look as good as you do. So, shut up. Another thing that at least what I do is I think it's really important to not respond to the hate. Because they're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're just trying to upset you. And if you don't give them what they want, eventually they're going to, move on. They'll have no choice. But, just continue being you and being yourself and do what makes you happy. Because, honestly, life is too short. So if you want to put on a costume and run around despite, the odds or whatever, you should do it. Because I think it's better that at least you've tried than sit there regretting and asking yourself, what if? Yeah, and people who are mean to you, suck and I'll pee on them. Yeah.
And last but not least, same question, Bob. What's some advice you would like to throw out
Excuse
there?
me, you didn't say me.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Rhi.
Rhi, same question.
Well, I mean, yeah, personally, I would just say just continue cosplaying, F the haters, really. I mean, there's, don't spend your energy trying to, please them because, they hate you anyway. So, what I would, I always think of myself, I always think, is it inspiring? Is it kind? Is it, those things? And you have control over yourself and your actions. And so, for your social media pages or something like that, you can always delete the comments and not even look at them. Or, because you are in control of you and how you react. And just never change yourself and always be you.
Can't argue with that at all. Now, finally, to Bob. Same question. Any advice you'd like to throw out there?
Well, there are two bits. One regarding the haters, and like I said earlier, there's haters in every community, and I've had to deal with some of them with my YouTube channel and some of the videos that I posted as far as Asperger's syndrome, and I have found in my 6 decades of life that when people go spewing out a bunch of hate, it's almost always because they hate themselves, and on the same grounds that they're saying out loud. So if they're hating you for a race, they're hating their own race. If they're hating you for some type of behavior, they're just projecting it onto you. And so you can give a gentle word of correction, and a few of them will take it. A few of them, in my case, have. You educate somebody, you make a new friend, and that is just awesome. And then if they don't, just tell them to get off my lawn. And if they won't take the discussion, then they're not going to take anything, and you just got to leave them to their own little cesspools. The other is just approach your size or anything else really your own way. I mentioned earlier about either embrace it, ignore it, or conceal it. Now, I'm probably the only person on this panel who can conceal the excess weight, and I have a couple of my costumes that can do that. My castle costume, my Dr. Midnight. You don't really see my big paunch on those. I can have a few up the queue where I embrace it and I make it part of the character. My bunny Foo-Foos is like that. I have one or two others that can do that, and I can't think that I'm wanting to do that. I'm doing that, and I can't think of what they are. Right? Oh, Sixth Doctor and Rooster Cogburn are way down the queue, and those are a couple of guys with good tummies. and then I can just ignore it. I can just go ahead and let it hang out, and so the character doesn't have a big punch. And the heck with that. I can go with my my Harpo mark, the shadow. I suck it in a little bit for a photo, but the rest of the time, I don't care. This is just a costume that I wanted to wear, and the heck, the heck with it. I have on my Pinterest board, same place where I marked that Wonder Woman earlier, and I've included in my list of special needs, being a plus weight, and of course, among the women, I have a couple of Ursulas, I have a couple of Princess Fionas, I have a gal that did Sadness from Inside Out, but I also have an absolutely adorable Sailor Jupiter,
Nice.
and God bless this gal. I could just about go and order for that Sailor Jupiter costume. Besides, not just because that's my favorite character in the franchise. So do it the way you want to.
Can I agree more on that? I think that should about wrap it up. Again, thank you all for coming on to express, your experiences, advice, and all around that stuff, and letting people know out there who are, plus size cosplayers to know that, hey, it's okay. You're allowed to cosplay whoever you want. So again, thank you all for that.
You're welcome.
And
Not a problem.
And before we end this, I guess might as well reintroduce yourselves again, starting with Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris Furguson. There'll probably be a link to my Instagram in the doobly-doo. I don't post a lot, but some of my costumes are there. Just try and be good to one another and have a great day.
And now Minty.
Hey, I am Minty. I'm assuming that my links are probably down below. I am most active over on Instagram. And I am always open for questions or suggestions if you need any help or need a little bit of mom pep talk.
And now Rhi.
Hi, I'm Rhi, or Miss Artist Rhi. I'm mostly on Instagram. I also have a TikTok, but I'm mostly on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. You can DM me whatever. You can you can DM me for makeup tips or wig styling tips. I'm not really a good sewer, but talk to me if you want to be my friend.
And Kat.
I'm Kat. Like everybody else here, I am a cosplayer. My links will probably also be in the description. You can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter. Feel free to send me a message. I'm down to chat with people. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Be kind and have courage and continue being you. Be happy.
And now you, Bob.
I am Bob Greenwade, sometimes referred to as One-Eyed Cosplay. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest as well, and various other locations. And you can go ahead and send me a message or send me a post or whatever else you want if you're looking for where the heck can I find for a good price, or not for a good price, or for good quality, because that is what I do and has been for decades.
Yeah, definitely a good helper at that. And you can also look for his, just like everyone else's, social media platforms in the description below, along with mine. And I am Wayne the Unknown, your host here for Geeking Out, Wayne the Unknown, and also for Cosplay Contalk. Again, I want to thank everyone again for coming on, and as always, thank you for listening. And until next time, thank you for watching.
Like a very much.
Thank you.
Bye.